And you can set this at any distance that you want. Okay, so I am still in my pajamas, but I'm just trying to get this knocked out. I don't have a lot of time for preparation today. I was planning to do a video on different types of car mounts, but I ran into some trouble. The vehicle I drive now, the windshield is designed differently from my previous vehicle. So the mounts that I previously used with my windshield on the inside, they don't fit as well as they did on my other car. So I had to order something else to make things work. So we'll do that later. Also, it's raining very heavily outside and I really didn't want to be in the rain doing that, okay? So what I'm doing instead is I'm working with this GVM, great video maker. It's a motorized slider. I got the 4-foot. A lot of people say that's too long, but I wanted the extra length in case I ever needed it. The only problem I have run into with that is because it is so wide, when you put it on a single tripod or a single stand, you can get some rocking back and forth as the weight moves from one side to the other. I resolved that by putting a stand on each side. Problem solved. The issue with that is that I do a lot of shoots by myself, and to try to move 2 stands at the same time and keep everything from falling over, it's very difficult. So what I did is I'm gonna go back to using a single stand or a single tripod, and I got some support arms on order. So when those come in, I will come back in and do a video on those. But anyway, for now, I'm just gonna show you the slider and some of its features. It comes in this, it's a nice carrying case. It's padded, but I don't think you'll find yourself being able to drop this thing on the ground, you know, or drop something heavy on it without causing damage. I wouldn't try it. But it comes with this little insert here. I'm just gonna toss that over there for now. It comes with more than this. It comes with a lot of different cables for triggering photos for time lapse and such. I don't use it for any of that, so those are in a box somewhere. But it does come with a controller cable. The controller, it comes with a battery, a smaller battery than this, but I have tons of these for some of the portable lighting that I use. So I'm using one of those today. This is just one of those standard Sony whatever lights. I added a quick release plate and a ball head to mine so that I'd have more control over my camera very easily. Just gonna go ahead and pull this out of here. Okay, and we're gonna toss this to the side. Okay, so I'm gonna actually spin this around. This is gonna make it easier to show you this. Okay, so turn it this way so that I have access to this little motor, so I can plug this in. On the stand that I use with this, I do have a little arm coming out of it so that I can mount this right on it and I don't have to hang this from anything. Anyway, let's just get down to the subject at hand. First of all, notice right now this doesn't move anywhere because I have this locked. You probably want to keep this locked when you're moving it around, because if you don't, this thing is going to slide along freely. You can use this just as a manual slider. So right now it's locked. Okay, so you plug one in here. It has a little button for releasing it. Then you plug the other USB in into this controller. I'm going to throw this battery on, make sure it's coming on, and it is. Okay, so I'm gonna unlock this. Let me grab another camera. All right, throw this on here. Okay, let's do something like this. When this track is set up in the middle and this is adjustable, it's gonna just go straight back. Nothing's gonna turn here, nothing's gonna rotate. However, you are able to adjust these knobs here. I'm gonna turn this on. It's got a little power switch at the bottom. So let's see if you can see the control. Okay, so the way this works is You have these directional buttons, and you have the center button, which is a selection button. Okay, so for instance, I am going to go down to settings, and I'm going to press enter. I'm going to set my start point. Then I'm going to move the camera to the start point that I want. Don't let it go all the way because it'll make a terrible sound. Stop it right before by pressing that center button. Then you press and hold to save that setting. Press and hold again to exit that menu. It goes back up a step, then go down to set my end point. And we're setting the end point all the way to the other side. And you can set this at any distance that you want. Just for the sake of this video, I'm going to stop that right there. Then you press and hold to save. You press and hold again to go back a menu. And then we're going to go and I want it auto loop. What auto loop is this is going to go back and forth. So to start, and it starts to go. And you can pause it at any time by pressing the center button. Then you can continue. Now notice when it gets to the end of that run that it's going to ramp the speed down. That's so you don't get any jerky motion from the weight of the camera. Okay, I'm going to pause it again. Okay, so notice here that the speed is at 100. I'm going to reduce the speed. You can reduce the speed while it's paused or while it's going. So we're going to go down to, let's say, 30% and start it again. And see how slowly it's going now? And you can speed it up while it's going, as I was saying before. Now today I'm not going to go over the basic shots. I just want to show you some of the features. So let's say I adjust these knobs. I'm going to pull this one down. And you notice the camera turned, and I'm going to pull this one up. You notice the camera turned even more. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn my camera to, let's say, like here. And you can get creative on which direction you want to turn your cameras. And then we're going to run through this and watch what happens. Notice the camera is rotating. And it will turn the other direction as it heads back. I'm going to get back to the middle and show you what this looks like if the camera starts here. Let's just say the camera's this way and then when it starts. Now let's see the way the camera goes. It's basically similar to a parallax. It's focused more in the center. Okay, now when it gets back to the middle, I'm going to switch it to show you the motion when we turn it around. Okay, so now let's say we switch this to the top. And we switch this to the bottom. One thing I want to mention is if you mount this on something, if the mounting post, the screw is too long, you won't be able to slide this to different positions. So what I advise is that you either get a washer to put between what you're mounting it to and the slider to keep it from going up that high, which is what I initially did, or you find something you can mount it to that has a shorter post. That's gonna keep things from catching or wobbling if you put it in there loosely so that it doesn't catch. Really easy fix. Okay, so watch the motion now with the change of the position of these knobs. Now they actually fan out. They pan out left and right. So as it's moving to the left, it's panning to the left. And as it moves to the right, it'll pan to the right. In the other position, as it moves to the left, it turns to the right and vice versa. But what you need to realize is that these aren't the only shots you can get from that. You don't want to go necessarily the full extent that way or the full extent this way. For instance, I'll show you what I mean. See, I'm going to come all the way back to this position here. Now let's say right here, I wanted this camera to be facing the camera that I'm looking at right now. So I'm gonna move this to the right position, line it up with the camera. That's my subject. So it's facing the camera right here. Then I'm gonna move it all the way to the other position. Stop it here. Okay, so I'm now going to move this to face the camera again. So let's see how we can do that. So now this is facing that camera again. I'm gonna stop it here. I don't wanna go all the way because then it's facing past the camera. When it's lined up with the camera, I'm stopping it. So now the camera is my subject for the full range of the slider. So then we go. It's gonna stay on the camera. Now that's not perfect, but it's much closer to the shot I'm trying to attain. My whole point is that you don't want to necessarily put this all the way up or down or that all the way up or down. You position these according to the shot you're trying to capture. Let me say this also. This motor is strong enough for you to mount this vertically or at angles, and it can still support the weight of the camera and move smoothly. Again, I just wanted to show you this. This wasn't a video about all the types of shots you can do. It was just something about the equipment. This thing cost, it's under 400 bucks. I think I got it for like 370, maybe 380, 390. Compared to a lot of the other products that are out there to do similar, this is a great product at a much less expensive price point, and I think you should check it out. Also, GVM just came out with, I think in January, with the 3D motorized slider. It's only 32 inches, which is okay, and it's about 1,100 bucks. But what it does is it also has like a pan and tilt head on it that's automatic, and you can set multiple points in multiple directions for the camera to be facing. It has 360 degrees on this axis, 360 degrees on this axis, and then it goes left and right. For now, this is the GVM 48-inch motorized slider by a great video maker. Deuces.